Alrighty, so today's topic that came through, if you saw it, is about loss and losing somebody either through a death, a breakup, or moving away, just somebody out of your immediate space, we could say, somebody that's just moving out of your close proximity of your life. So that's the topic for today. So I've been thinking about it since it came through, and there's all different kinds of change that is happening because all of those are changes in our environment and changes in the energy field around us also. And then depending on how we feel about, if it's death, for example, depending on how we feel about death and what happens when we die, and is going to really impact how a person processes through somebody leaving or crossing over, if you want to say. But all of the aspects of that is really, we love somebody and we invest in somebody energetically, or somebody invests in us energetically through through relations of some sort, and then they move out of the close space, and depending on how we feel about them or how we feel about their impact on us is going to really determine how to move gracefully through the transition. So we'll kind of take them. I mean, it's really sort of the same thing, because sometimes you have a breakup and it's not a whole lot different than somebody transitioning out of this world, because you probably don't see them again, and so they're gone out of your life. And a lot of times when people move away, then it takes a lot more effort to stay connected, and it just depends on the bonding that you have. And I always say there's people that are in our lives for a season, and then there's people that are in our lives that are enduring. So and we know the difference. And some people are casual, they're in our life for a little while, and other people are really enduring. Their impact on our energy, their impact on our growth process, on the investment of love into our lives, and the way our lives have changed around that person's energy. So moving through it, through the change, the gap or the space that you feel is left, because I sometimes think the whole issue is really the space left behind, especially if the person's still around. Even if they're not here in this world, they're still around, but the space that they held in our energy field or in our heart, the energy we drew off of that person, or the energy that they sucked out of us, is what we're noticing. The absence of it, the absence of the pulling of energy out of us, or the absence of the receiving of good energy from that person. And that changes is happening all the time. And how we decide to view change is really going to make a difference in how we move through the world. And going from simple to complex, the earth is changing daily. The sun rises, and we embrace the light, and we embody that. And then twilight and evening, and light has changed to darkness, and we become enveloped in that darkness. And we rest. It allows us to rest, and then we open into the sunrise again. And in energy shifts and changes in our lives, I think it holds the same pattern. People come into our life, or If it's a parent, they've been there the entire life, and that's the sun is rising. And we open into that, the beautiful life essence that they have, and maybe we grow through it and we develop some intense bonding, and then the twilight and the sun sets, and then that person has moved on to something else, and then we experience our our life without their light in it, in the way that we're familiar with, but their light's still there. So a lot of when experiencing a lot of change, whether through a human being that we love that we've moved on from, um, say a breakup, for example, um, something wasn't right with the energy impact, or something wasn't right in it, that so it wasn't working. Um, so it was ready to end. But then because we are all tangled up, our emotional self and our needs and our experiences are tangled up in that other person, and that other person's energy. When they're gone, we don't know what to do with that, what to do with those feelings, or those longings, or that just noticing. We notice more, almost the absence of ourselves, because we've wound ourselves up around somebody, and oftentimes giving up our own foothold, a quadrant of our life wrapped into somebody. And then when they leave, that space feels so radically empty. But if we kept our own presence in our sharing, in our relationships, and we kept our own identity, and we kept our own experience happening, we would still be experiencing ourselves in their absence. We would be experiencing some stuff missing or some stuff different, but I don't think that the experience would be a big black hole, which is a lot of times what people happen when somebody dies or somebody breaks up with them. So we really have to, it goes back, everything goes back to being rooted and grounded on the inside, and in the relationships that we're sharing. What in me, what in me is responding to this relationship? Is this an enduring relationship? Somebody that is going to be in my energy and in my life for a long time, or I'd like them to be. Then we have to work through the subtle changes as that relationship evolves, so that we're desiring in all relationships the highest and best for that other person, and the highest and best success for that other person. And we want them to meet their fullest potential on this planet. And whatever, investment we can make to help them, we really want to do that. But not at the expense of who we are, because we're also honoring our own life essence and saying, I want to be my highest and best potential on this planet. I want to live to my highest and best, and I'm not sacrificing that to fulfill somebody else's dream for them. I'm living in my dream, and you can walk with me, and you can walk with me, and I will support you, and you can support me. But if it comes a time where the dreams diverge, or we grow away from each other in different directions, then we're okay with it. It doesn't necessarily feel super good, but we're okay with it. We're still intact, and we know it's the highest and best for them, and we know it's the highest and best for us. So we can remain connected energetically and supportive, and we don't have to have the pushing and the pulling and the tugging and the fighting and the turning into, you're not there for me, or you're whatever. And we all know how those things evolve out. So it all the groundwork of moving gracefully through the things happens in how we honor the relationship, whatever relationship it is. You know, everybody in our lives is coming into our life to share something or get something energetically. And the enduring ones, it's a long journey together. And the investment is it's deep water. And the more short-term or casual or lighter experiences are, you know, it's less impactful. It's impactful, but we know it's seasonal. We know it's seasonal. So we're not feeling such a big hole. It's not like you're pulling a tree out of your life, something like that. As far as people moving away, just to hit on that, and since I'm probably going to be doing that at some point, we don't have to be in the same town to love each other deeply and to make an investment in each other's lives. We have to make effort. We have to make effort to spend time talking to one another. And, you know, what is going on with you? And here's what's going on with me. And I want your input on this. And what do you think about that? That happens whether you're 3,000 miles apart or whether you're 3 minutes apart. It really doesn't matter. That's an attitude towards the relationship. That's the heart energy speaking to heart energy. That's, you know, I'm valuing this treasure of a relationship that I have, and if it's your highest and best to go, that's not going to change anything, unless I'm only going to have friends that live in the same town as me. I mean, then of course it will end. Like it's all in how we view ourselves in life. But we're moving. We're radiant beams of light. We're moving energy beings. We're moving through our life path. Our life paths are one of motion, internal motion. You know, we might be born, raised, and stay in the same town our whole life, but internally we're moving, we're evolving, we're moving into deeper awareness, deeper relationship, higher thinking, a higher a divine relationship within ourselves and the divine. So we're moving, we're not stagnant. The energy inside us isn't just humming along, you know, without change. It is evolving with the sunrise and sunset. It's evolving with the, you know, every experience of the day is affecting our energy field and our thoughts and perceptions. And each moment that we spend in our meditative practice, we're drawing into the heart of divine, the creative space, the space of all possibility, the created, the being that created God, the universe. We're drawing into that because we are that. We're a piece of that. We're the drop. So we're returning to the ocean and being revitalized and refreshed, and that's renewing us. So we're in motion. We're in motion all the time internally. We should be, and if we're not, we need to we need to get on it and start growing and evolving, because life comes as, you know, as we move through our processes and we live in divine love, and we absorb more of that love, and then we become divine, and then that radiates out. It begins to draw in life to us, and then we radiate out more life, and more life draws in, and then we begin to settle into what is my passion and desire, and you know, who and what am I, and what are my truths, and that I am living to, and then we're complete and we're intact. And if we're doing that, we're intact, and we're receiving clarity from our intuition and from our divine being. So when people come in and through, and out of our life. The ones that are enduring relationships to us, it's not a problem because we know we're staying connected. Um, I can be with you. I was with you all 3,000 miles away. All I have to do is think about you and think about this class. And you're all here. And I can impact each of you individually because that's how energy works. But if I think, oh, I've decided my truth is when people leave, they're gone. And so I'm going to start shutting them out and shutting them down. And then that's just a way of being or a truth system that you've developed within yourself. So how we deal with death and breakups and divorce and whatever else people issues that they're having is how we deal with ourselves. Something can feel like an enormous rejection. I experienced that. It can really feel like an enormous rejection. But then I settle in and I say, let me see things how they really are. Let me see myself in this situation. Let me understand who I am being and who I was being. And let me see it clearly without being bound up in what has happened. And then I did see clearly. And I saw, wow, this is really the best thing that could have happened right now. So a lot is perspective and our willingness to look at ourselves and our perceptions about things. And again, our perceptions about what happens when we pass. I don't believe we just disappear into thin air. I think we move on into eternal space, and where we go from there, I don't know, but we continue. We continue evolving, we continue growing in love, we continue becoming more and more divine in our energy expression. But we're ethereal. And we do notice the people down here, I believe. The scriptures speak to that, ancient cultures speak to that, that the energy, the essence of the person shows up around about, and they can see us, struggling away or missing them, so to speak. So if we believe that, they're not gone, they're just not in our space. So what is it that I need right now when I'm missing somebody that has passed on? What am I feeling right now? What do I need right now? If I needed something from that person, what would it be? And can I do that? Can I provide that for myself? Is it just a longing, a missing? That can almost be a joyful feeling to have loved someone so much that you have a warm, passionate feeling when you think about them, a deep love for them. And that love that you are expressing within your heart for that loved one that has crossed over, they experience that expression, I believe. And they're in their, a place of complete clarity. They're not concerned or distracted by this realm because they're no longer in it. We're distracted by it. Another point to think about, because in the process of relationships, we attract people to us based on the energy that we're emitting. And oftentimes the lessons that we're learning is what's bringing those people into our life, because that's the energy that we're emitting. So looking at the relationships and saying, if life is a mirror and this person is a mirror for me, then what am I seeing? What is the reflection of how I am being right now? And is there something I need to see or understand here? And sometimes we connect up with other people or lovers, and our energy is vibrating right. They have the other piece, and it feels so familiar and so awesome, and this is, the best thing ever. And then as time goes by, we don't have the sacred middle part between us that we come to with everything and talk it over and negotiate. Then a person grows a lot and the other person decides they're really comfortable where they are. There's an enormous disparity then. It doesn't feel familiar anymore, and it doesn't feel the same. The energy isn't the same anymore, but the familiarity of the old stuff is still calling to you. So it creates like this, that tug and war type of a thing. But if we're alive and aware and really wanting the highest and best for you and the highest and best for me, we come together and say, wow, I'm really growing and this is how I'm viewing, and how's that working for you? And you're like, well, I'm not sure about that. We can see for a while, or it's really not working for me. So I think it's better if we go separate ways. You're talking just like this. It's not a big, huge, gross personal offense. It's just, we can try this and this, and if that still doesn't bring us to common ground, then we can go our separate ways, and you're intact and I'm intact, and I'm blessing you on your path and you're blessing me. We have this idea that relationships are supposed to complete us, or bring us the parts that are missing, or fulfill our emotional need for being needed and loved. But we must own that within our own life first. I must love myself deeply and passionately. I must be completely in love with myself before I can offer that love to someone else. Because that's a hole that will never get filled. It's a hole that will remain a vortex forever, because it cannot be filled by another person. It is fulfilled through knowing who and what we are and basking in divine love and really knowing how loved we are, how deeply, deeply and profoundly loved we are in our divine being, and all the great life that is here for us, with a partner, if that's what we want. And we can be super successful with that, or not, and be super successful with that. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you super happy? Are you super completely happy inside? Do you have love and joy for life? Do you have a deep resonating connection with your divine, inner divine being, connected to the great divineness that is out there? Are you a drop in the ocean, or are you just a drop? And that when we're complete and we're doing the work to walk in who and what we are, and the greatness that is in each one of us, finding our pathway, our spiritual fingerprint, so to speak, then people will be drawn into that energy that are doing the same thing. And that's enduring. That's an imprint on your life that will never go away. It's never going to feel like an empty hole. It's always going to return the energy to you when you reach out for it, because it's not energy that's founded in anything except divine love and complete honor for the life force of ourselves and the other person. And we all have to pass at some point or other. We're all going to go. So death isn't something that some fearful thing off in the corner like the boogeyman. We're all going to pass from this world. And the more evolved we are, the more deeply in love and experiencing the love, of the divine, of the great one, then the easier the birthing process out is going to be. It's not scary. It's scary when we don't, we run away from the idea of it all the time. So how do we move through people leaving our lives? How do you want people to move through you leaving their life? How do you want people to react and respond to you following your passion and dreams? Or how do you want people to respond to your crossing over into the next realm? That's really a great question. There's a book I read, it's like, death is the best teacher because thinking about dying causes us to really think about living and the footprint and impression that we are leaving behind us. And we're leaving footprints behind us moment by moment, not just when we die, but all the time. So how, when we enter into a relationship or we have relationships that are deeply meaningful to us, how would I want someone to treat my leaving this relationship if I did? And what would allow that to happen? Am I clinging to somebody to have my needs met? Am I clinging to somebody so I don't have to be alone? That big scary alone. It's not scary, it's like delightful. But because we get to be with ourselves in complete freedom and then be with someone else. So, what is this person representing to me in my world? And when we understand what a person is representing to us in our world, is it a relationship that's all for me and about me, or is it a partnership? Is it teamwork? Is it a team sport that even if they had to leave me, I would want them to have that freedom? That's loving somebody, putting them first and dealing with what you're feeling about it. It's freedom. It's allowing people to evolve in freedom. So, if we're the one ending the relationship, then why am I ending the relationship? And how can I help this person see that? And if I have to go because it's more loving to me, then I have to put myself first and do that, but do it in a loving way that and honors and respects the other person. We have to spend some time doing some work sometimes to get to that, but that's where it needs to end up, because the energy that is in us, the energy that we radiate, if I'm feeling tension or angst or bitterness or disappointment or hurt towards somebody else, I'm radiating that out towards that person, adding it to their energy field, and I'm adding it to mine. And that's not helping anybody. It's not helping anybody. So, how we view ourselves is how we're going to view our relationships. And if we view ourselves as being complete only with somebody there, then we need to be complete with ourselves and the divine. And then we can be powerful, loving, and equal energetically in a relationship that we might choose to have, whatever it might be. So it's making the investment once again in ourselves and that ongoing moment by moment relationship with the divine, with our inner being, with our pure heart, our authentic self, birthing that forward more and more into this realm, and allowing the mind to soften and relax over the heart, and allowing the heart to dominate. And then all that we will be moving in is love. We will be moving in a knowing state of quietness and peace and flow, and we will radiate that out of us, and we will have understanding and clarity when people come and go. We won't be gripping and grabbing about them coming or going. We might feel bad and shed a tear, but it won't be because we're desperate about something. It'll be because we love them, and we're releasing them, their presence in our immediate space. And then if the person's still living, then we, keep the connection. Keep the connection. You can just feel somebody, send somebody love. It keeps the connection. Don't leave it all for someone else to do. It's a two-way street. But sometimes we have to make dramatic moves to move ourselves forward in life, to move ourselves in line with our path. We understand that we need to make a dramatic move that people will fall away and people will come in. The people that are no longer fitting into the energy space will naturally fall away all by themselves, and people that are now coming into the space are going to be matching our energetic being and the path that we're on. So we're very fluid. We're very fluid as spiritual beings. And the most important relationship is the one you have within yourself. So as you move through, you do it with grace naturally, because you know it is right for you. You have received the message, it is time to move on, and you need to walk it out. And once you let go, trust is enormous, and make the decision, then things flow peacefully. You rise above the things that you're feeling and observe them and understand them, but it's a much more peaceful process, because we're all evolving and moving all the time. So unmute yourselves, please. Was that helpful?
Helpful. Very helpful. Thank you.
Very nice.
So all comes back to us, right?
Very.
That was very insightful and powerful. I'm going to enjoy watching this again.
Thank you. Good. So I'm going to be posting it tomorrow.
Great.
For everybody. I did hit the record button.
Record.
Thank you.
So we are going to meditate. And I feel that we're going to go in and be in the loving place and bask in that love. Most definitely just float around in that for a while, energize ourselves. And then I'll pull you out. So get comfortable. Get comfortable. Well, I'm going to mute you guys again. And breathe. Just take in a really big breath. Pull in a really big breath of air. Really stretch. Let the rib cage stretch sideways. And then exhale out. And then really pull that air back in. And then exhale it out. And then now connect with that breath as life force. Life energy pulling in. Life energy pulling in. And then just let all of the old stuff flow out. Breathing life in. Feel the air flow in, soften, relax as it flows out. Breathing in and out. Let your body soften. Let your brain relax. Relax your ears. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the soft rise and fall of your breath. Allow the breath to start to expand you. Relaxing away from your body. Focusing our attention in our heart center, the area behind your breastbone. Breathing in and out of that space. Connect with the emotion of love. And feel that love flow in and out. Love fills you with the breath, ignites the love within you, and flows out all around you. Love in you and all around you. Let yourself float away into the sea of love. Fully supported. Completely enfolded. Love flowing in. Love flowing out. Balancing. Aligning. Coming into tune with the great love. Allowing ourselves to open with our breath. Making room for more love to flow in. Connecting with the love that is within us and all around us. Love is all there is. Love is freedom. Love is joy. Love is beauty. Love is abundance. Love is wholeness. Wellness. Love is everything. Everything is divine. You are love within, connected with the love all around you. You are in a sea of love. It is a river flowing through you, in and around you, lifting you up. There is no beginning and no end. Allow the love access to more of you. There's always more. This love is here for you. It's here for you, all around you. Floating in a sea of love. What do you need right now? Whatever you need is here for you now. Love is divine presence. We are love. We are this love. You are a drop in this ocean. Allow yourself to expand. Allow yourself to be one with this one love. It's bringing you life, clarity, wisdom, joy, wholeness, peace. Joy. Feel the connection. It is here in every moment of your life. It is always here for you, in you and all around you. Remember this feeling. Feel it in your body. Feel it in your heart, in your breath. Take a big breath. Let it out. Reconnect with your body, your earthly vessel. Slip back inside. Feel your fingers and toes. Notice how much smaller you feel. And when you're ready, open your eyes and unmute